GPT-5 was released just a few days ago, less than a week, and it's already being called OpenAI's smartest, fastest, most useful AI yet. But what actually changed? Well, today we're breaking down the 7 most noticeable upgrades in plain English so you'll know exactly what's new, what's better, and why it matters for you. Now, one thing I noticed right out of the gate when I began using GPT-5 is it does feel a little cold and impersonal, like just the facts, ma'am. However, I discovered that that's intentional and by design. OpenAI tuned the default tone for efficiency and precision, knowing a lot of people just want quick, no-nonsense answers. Even Sam Altman, OpenAI's CEO, has acknowledged this feedback from users. He said they are aware that GPT-5 can come across as abrupt, and once things stabilize, they will work on adding more warmth without losing its focus. However, in the meantime, if you prefer your conversations with ChatGPT to be a little more friendly and conversational, you can simply ask it directly to use a more friendly tone. Okay, upgrade number 1, no more which model do I pick confusion. One of the biggest changes in GPT-5 is something you'll notice before you even type your first prompt. In previous versions, you had to pick between GPT-4 or GPT-4o or o1 or o3 and others. And people would ask, if this AI is so smart, why can't it just figure out which one I need? Well, now it does. GPT-5 works as a unified system that automatically decides which mode to use for your request, whether that's a quick answer or deep extended reasoning. This means no more second guessing or worrying if you pick the wrong version. Just ask your question and GPT-5 figures out the rest for you. Now, you may have heard there was a bit of blowback when GPT-5 launched a few days ago. OpenAI temporarily removed the older GPT-4o version, which many users love for its warm conversational tone. The reaction was so passionate that they quickly reinstated a few of the most popular previous versions. So it looks like OpenAI is listening to what users are asking for. Upgrade number 2, less sycophancy and more honest answers. Prior to GPT-5, ChatGPT could sometimes act like a bit of a yes person. It might agree with you or validate your idea even when that wasn't the most helpful response, basically telling you what it thought you wanted to hear. And it's not just me saying this, a lot of other users have expressed the same concern. With GPT-5, that has changed. It's been trained to give more objective, balanced feedback, even if that means politely disagreeing or challenging you. I've personally noticed this in my own use. When I've asked for honest feedback, GPT-5 has given me thoughtful recommendations and counterpoints where older versions of ChatGPT might have just agreed with me without offering other things to consider. For example, if you tell GPT-5 you're going to build a swimming pool on your roof to host summer parties, it's not just going to say, "Oh, sounds amazing, Mark, go for it." Instead, it might ask if your roof can handle the weight, or if you've checked building codes, or what is your plan for preventing leaks. That's the difference. GPT-5 isn't here to flatter you, it's here to help you make informed decisions. Upgrade number 3, fewer made-up facts and hallucinations. One of the most frustrating things with earlier versions of ChatGPT was when it would hallucinate, basically giving you an answer that sounded confident but was completely made up. That could mean getting wrong dates, misquoting statistics, or even inventing sources that don't actually exist. GPT-5 is a lot better at avoiding that. Instead of bluffing, it's more likely to give you a clear "I don't know" or offer a range of possibilities with the reasoning behind them. For everyday users, that means GPT-5's answers are noticeably more accurate and reliable. While no AI is perfect, the chances of getting a completely made-up answer have significantly decreased compared to GPT-4. Upgrade number 4, built-in tools, web, image, and voice, all seamlessly integrated. In GPT-4, you could browse the web, analyze images, or use voice, but only if you were on the right subscription tier, or you knew where to find the feature, or were willing to jump between models or plugins. It was powerful, but it felt like juggling separate gadgets. With GPT-5, it unifies all this into a single, seamless workspace. Web search, image generation, and voice are now available on demand in any conversation with no setup, no mode switching, and no guesswork. For example, you could say, "Find the latest housing market trends in my area and summarize them," and GPT-5 can pull the current data from the web instantly. You could ask, "Create a quick logo idea for a dog walking business," and it'll generate an image right inside the same chat. Or you could flip on GPT-5's new voice mode mid-conversation and have a real back and forth spoken dialogue where it listens and responds out loud like you're talking to a real person. I tried this myself for the first time a couple days ago and I was blown away. I'll probably do a whole video on this soon because it's that good. Upgrade number 5, stronger multimodal understanding. And multimodal is just a fancy way of saying GPT-5 can understand more than just text. It can also interpret images, charts, diagrams, and other visuals. GPT-4 had some of these abilities, but GPT-5 is much better at actually reasoning about what it sees and explaining it in plain English. Here's what that means in real life. You can upload a picture of an unfamiliar geographic landmark, and GPT-5 can often identify it and tell you where it's located and even share some history about it. You can take a screenshot of your Facebook ad campaign metrics, upload it, and GPT-5 can break down the numbers, explain what's working or what's not working, and give you suggestions for improving your results. No need to type in a bunch of numbers. Just take a screenshot and ChatGPT will figure it all out from that single screenshot. You could share a wiring diagram from something like an HVAC unit and can walk you through what each part does, how they connect, and even give troubleshooting tips based on the image you provided. The key improvement is that GPT-5 doesn't just see an image, it understands it. It can extract data and make sense of it and give you actionable insights and recommendations based on that visual information. Upgrade number 6, superior coding abilities. If GPT-4 was a good coding partner, GPT-5 feels like having an entire development team in your pocket. It's faster, sharper, and a lot better at understanding what you're asking for, even if you don't know a single line of code. Here's what that actually looks like. You can describe the kind of website or app you want to build in plain English, and GPT-5 will build it, complete with a working layout, clickable buttons, and all the behind-the-scenes code needed to make it run. If you already have a website or an app but something's broken, you can paste in the code or just the part that's giving you trouble, and GPT-5 can pinpoint the bug, explain what's wrong in simple terms, and show you exactly how to fix it. I've personally tested this myself, and it's scary how accurate it is. GPT-5 nailed the problem and gave me the right fix on the first try. Want to add something new like a custom dashboard that pulls in your business's sales numbers or website traffic? Just tell GPT-5 what you want to see and it can create the code to make that happen. Bottom line, you don't have to be a developer anymore to get software built or improved. Just explain your idea in everyday language and GPT-5 can turn it into working code that you can use right away. Upgrade number 7, better writing flair. Earlier versions of ChatGPT sometimes felt stiff or robotic. The focus was on delivering the answer, not on how it was delivered. GPT-5 changes that. It's noticeably better at writing in a way that feels polished, natural, and human. Here's what's new. It can take your rough notes or bullet points and turn them into a clean, flowing copy that sounds like it was written by a professional writer. If you have a specific style or tone you want to write in, maybe you need it casual and friendly, maybe you need it formal and professional, or maybe playful and fun, or persuasive and convincing. GPT-5 can lock into that style and keep it consistent from start to finish. Even for everyday writing, like emails, reports, or blog posts, GPT-5 makes the results sharper, smoother, and more engaging, and they won't sound like they were written by AI. And I can personally vouch for this. One of the main things I use ChatGPT for is writing and brainstorming. There is a clear difference in GPT-5. It's hard to pinpoint exactly. Maybe it's the natural flow, maybe it's the way it feels less AI-ish, but the improvement over GPT-4 is noticeable. And here are a few more things to know about GPT-5. First, faster response times. Even for complex requests, conversations feel more fluid and there's less waiting around. Next, better memory in long chats. If you ever had a marathon conversation in GPT-4, you might have seen what I call chat amnesia, where it forgets details you mentioned earlier in the chat just because the chat got long. ChatGPT does a much better job of keeping things in context from start to finish and remembering facts you established earlier and even recalling files you uploaded earlier in the conversation. And also let me say a word about free versus paid access. With ChatGPT-4, free users could not use certain advanced features like the deep reasoning modes unless they upgraded. With ChatGPT-5, every user, free or paid, gets full access to the flagship model with all its capabilities. The only difference now is how much you can use it. Free users get limited daily access before switching to a lighter GPT-5 mini model, while paid users can keep going much longer without hitting a usage limit. So yes, GPT-5 is a clear leap forward. It's smarter, faster, and more capable than any AI model before it. In a recent interview, Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, put it bluntly. He said GPT-4 is the dumbest AI model that any of us will ever have to use again. In other words, if you thought GPT-4 was good, GPT-5 takes it to an entirely new level. ChatGPT-5 will obviously keep evolving in the weeks and months ahead, and as new updates become available, I'll cover those in future videos so you can stay up to date and make the most of it. And if you want to get up and running quickly with ChatGPT, I've got a simple step-by-step guide for non-techies that shows you exactly how to start using it right away. No tech skills required, and you can watch that video right here.